Good evening, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to Relock Podcast. Today I have with me my two co-hosts, Aaron Brown and Erica Sloan. We have two special guests here tonight, Sherry Johns and Wendy Gonzalez. Tonight, a topic is we will be talking with two grieving mothers, talking about their pain and how they push through the hard times after losing a loved one. How are you guys doing tonight? How are you doing, Miss Wendy?
I am doing fine. How are you, Michelle?
I am doing well. Miss Sherry, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Michelle. Thank you for asking.
That's awesome. Um, well, we first want to start off by thanking you guys for being here. And we will go ahead and get right into it. So, my first question I would like to ask is Miss Wendy, what happened the day you found out about Jasmine's, um, how he was feeling? Can you take us into it a little bit about what happened the day that he told you about this or whenever this was found out about what was going on with him?
Yes. First, I want to say, Michelle, Erica, and Aaron, thank you guys for having me. It's an amazing platform, and I didn't.
Think we're having some technical difficulties. I think Wendy cut out for a second. Let's see if she'll pop back in. Wendy, let me see. Let me see. I think Wendy. Okay, you popped out for a second. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I have to tell you guys a funny story. My phone was ringing. I'm telling you, don't call me. I don't want anyone to call me before the next hour and a half. I'm going to hang up on you if you call me. So let me just start over. I just want to say truly, Michelle, Erica, and Aaron, thank you so very much for having me for this platform. I didn't realize that I was ready to even speak on my child, but I think this is a great opportunity. Michelle, thank you. You are a mom. You remind me so much of myself because we have 3 children and 2 boys and a girl. But how I found out about my sweetheart, Jasmine hadn't been feeling too good for about a year. He would complain about his back was hurting. And so I would say to him, honey, go to the doctor. And he said, well, it's the type of work that I'm doing. You know, I drive these big trucks and I'm moving a lot of material. And that's kind of why my back is hurting. And I said, you know, just get checked out. And as a mom, I'm starting to think what's going on with him. He was healthy. He was doing great. He was just perfect. And that was maybe the end of 2020. So we're starting out in 2021, and I noticed that he's now starting to lose weight. And I'm thinking, gosh, as an experienced person who had cancer, I don't know why, but it seems like the first thing happens when you're diagnosed with cancer, you start losing weight. I don't care that you're eating, it just seems like you start losing weight. So I started thinking in my mind, wow, he's starting to lose weight. And I know my son is not on drugs. And so of course, I called him and I said, listen, hon, you're starting to now lose weight. Are you okay? And he said, yes, mom, I'm eating, I'm doing everything. It's just, gosh, my back is in so much pain. And I said, make a doctor's appointment. And for sure he did. And he said that the doctor gave him medicine and said to him to go to a chiropractor. And he went to the chiropractor. He had a few sessions and he was like, that didn't do any good. Now we're coming up on July of 2021, and we are attending my daughter's second wedding in New Orleans. And we go to New Orleans, and I just kind of see the expression on his face that he's just not feeling good. He's not himself. And and I'm watching him. And then I said there, I said, listen, when we get back home, I want you to make an appointment and I'm going to go with you this time. I need them to check you completely out from the top of your head to the sole of your feet. I need them to figure out what's going on with you. And he said, Mom, that's fine. We go, we have a wonderful time. We come back home and he sets an appointment and I go with him. And they check him out and they said to him that they saw cancer in his testicle. Okay. And I thought at that moment, guys, I really wanted to check out. And he said, listen, we walked out of the doctor's office. I'm not kidding, guys. He never cried. He never complained. And he looked at me and he said, whatever they need to do, Mom, I'm going to do it. And we need to get it over with. Like, that's it. How it came about that he had testicular cancer, because you start in the testicles. And that's exactly where he started. It started in his testicle, and then it moved to a kidney. Once they told us that he had to have surgery in a testicle, he had to get his testicle removed. He was a bit upset, but he had 3 children. Listen, you don't have to have any more children. They said he probably wouldn't have kids again. Everything was fine. As a mom, I'm saying whatever is in you that shouldn't, we want it out of you.
Right.
He has the surgery, and they tested it, and they said that it had spread. It spread it to his kidney, and they're going to have to do aggressive chemo. Well, the one thing they said to us is, do you know Lance Armstrong? And we were like, absolutely, we know Lance Armstrong. And they said that's exactly what he had. That's the type of cancer he had, testicular. It started with him, and he even had it in his brain, and he lived, he survived. And the survival rate was so high. It was just perfect. But we knew that he had to go in with aggressive chemo. And the oncologist said to him that you are going to want to give up, but we have to stick to this regimen because we've got to stop the cancer from spreading. And I mean, he took it. He was so strong. I was a wreck. My family, his siblings, we were truly down and out. I didn't know what I was going to do if they said anything to me, but they said it was curable. And that's what I stood on. I stood on my faith. I prayed. I got on my knees at night. I said, Lord, do not take my child. Whatever we need to do, we need to do it. And it's so funny that the last round of chemo, he was fine. He went through a long process of 5 months of chemo, and he was done. And he had a tumor in his kidney that was shrinking, and they were gonna just try and go in and zap it out, and maybe he would only do radiation at that point. Guys, at the very end, my baby got sick over the holiday. We were in Houston for Christmas, and he got so ill, and I didn't want to take him to the doctor in Houston. I wanted to get back to his comfort zone, which he would go in and out of the hospital. He would say, he would go in for a few weeks and he'd come home and they would get him strong and he would just be wonderful. And just the last time he started having mild stroke. And they put him in ICU, and he wasn't in ICU for 24 hours. They reached out to me, and the doctor said that if he operated on him to do one thing, that we were going to lose him with another. And I lost my mind. At that moment, I did not care about life. I didn't care about myself anymore. I wanted my child to live. And they told me there was nothing else that could be done. And January the 2nd at 3:17 p.m., he passed. And I got to tell you guys about this time. So me and my sister Hope are extremely close. And Hope and her 2 daughters and me and my 3 children were a pack. We were together 24/7. And I think this time means so much to me. So 3 to me means his 3 children. The 1 in the middle is God. And the 7 is still him included with Hope and hers and me and my children. And I really believe that in my heart that God gave me that number to let me know that he is here with me and he's never going to be without me. And I think that's where the 317 came in at.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't been the same since. I don't know. Only God knows why I'm here, but I don't. And I tell you guys that I stand strongly on my faith. I do. My family is here to support me. They love me so much. But you have to know God to endure this. It's nothing like it. I think this is the ultimate pain from someone losing a child. I do. I've lost both of my parents. I lost my dad in 2022 to a massive heart attack. I lost my mother in 2019 to dementia. I lost 2 siblings in 2021, and losing my child has been an out-of-body experience. It has. And I ask God to keep me because I'm only surviving by his grace. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Miss Sherry, can you tell us what happened today? You found out about Corel.
Well, everybody. Hope posted.
You're breaking up, Sherry.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Michelle, for the day that
You're still cutting in and out, Sherry. We can't hear you.
hmm, what about now?
Okay.
What about now?
Okay. Uh-huh.
So Pharrell passed on May the 24th. He he shot in the head, and that Saturday before he had another so from CT playing football and getting concussions and multiple hits to the head all his life. He played in all the way up to college. He got a full scholarship at the University of Idaho, and that's where he attended college. He came back home about 2013. He left in 2010, going to college. And he came back around 2013. At that time, he was normal to me. He was normal, but he was having problems with like headaches and nosebleeds and things like that. But he was suffering from CTE, which at that time I didn't know anything about at all. I never heard of it, never went experience. We don't see some stuff on TV like we're starting to see now, but I didn't know about it. So the day that I found my baby, I went. I had a nerve that day. It happened actually on Sunday, and he texted me at 2:34, and he said, "I'm sorry, Mom. I love you forever." And I thought he was apologizing for the way he had treated me on Saturday from his car accident because I picked him up and he wasn't himself. He was out. He was mean and cussing and saying this and cocking his gun back, and he never did that. He was totally different. So I thought he was apologizing for that. And so I was like, I love you too, baby. It's nothing. I know you. But lo and behold, the next day, called everybody. He sent me. I know for sure now that I am the last person he texted at 2:34. And between 2:34 and 3 o'clock, he shot himself in the head. That was on a Sunday. And maybe the young lady decided to take time. I thought that, okay, on Sunday when I was driving, I was going to Austin at 2:34 between that time, and I felt something in my heart. When I got his text, I felt kind of a down, and I was like, well, maybe I should go check on Khalil. But he was mad at me, so I didn't want to, get him more upset, because with that type of disease, you never know. So I didn't want to get more upset. I wanted him to calm down. And I told his sister and my daddy them call him or whatever. So um they did or whatever, and I was okay. I'm like, Monday came, I was checking on the car, about the car and the Geico and the insurance came, and I was thinking, I heard from Corral. Last thing he said was he loved me. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. But you know how you don't want to go and find it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like something ain't right, but if I don't go, it ain't it's not happening. It didn't happen, or nothing's going on. So I waited till Thursday morning. And I woke up Thursday morning. And I said, "Wait a minute." Now I have to think about my kids. I always say, "I need to put my eyes on them." Even if it's in college, I need to video chat. I need to put my eyes on them. So I woke up Thursday morning and I said, I'm gonna go when I go take, Dad to dialysis. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna run by Correll's. At that time, when I went out to the car, his landlord called me. She said, "Sherry, I haven't seen Correll out in the yard. He usually works out in the yard every morning, but I haven't seen him for all this week." And I said, "Yeah, I know he's been having some problems, but I'm on my way over there." So we get over there, and you know, got my keys in the car or whatever, and she opened up the door, and as soon as she opened up the door, I, I she said, "Whew!" And she saw it too, and she loved Correll. She loved him. He didn't give her no problem. She loved him, and she saw, and I died. I couldn't move. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't think. I'm like, this is not happening. This is not happening. So I was dead. I was dead in the hole for 6 months, 6, 7 months. I didn't work for 2.5 years. I couldn't work. I agree with the young lady beside me, because it's soul, and you feel like your heart literally just ripped apart, and there's nothing you can do to make that go away. And you think about not being alive. Trust me, I understand the thought, because I thought about it. I think, I still have those thoughts every now and then, but I found my reason. You have to find your reason. I found my reason in my daughter, because I said, I want to be able to live in joy. I can't let my baby, you know, dying in front of her. I can't, doing good, trying her best. I gotta be there to support her, just like I supported him. I need to be the same person for her. And it's hard. It is very hard. But my advice, and I talk to women who've lost their children, and people about, who have experience with CTE. You gotta find your reason to keep going. And God is the only one who is going to fill that void, which it's still, your heart is still broken, but he kind of puts a little tape on it. It makes it where you go today, and the next day I'm going to get through tomorrow, and I'm going to get through tomorrow. And just every day you got to keep telling yourself that, because at one time it was minute by minute for me. I'm gonna get through this next minute, and I'm not okay. I made it. I'm gonna get through the next 5 minutes, okay? And I cry. I still cry. I still break down when a certain song come on. Me and Craig used to love the Isley Brothers and sit on the patio and listen to the Isley Brothers. Couldn't listen to the Isley Brothers for 2.5 years. Couldn't listen to no Keith Sweat for 2.5 years. Couldn't ride by certain places, but park in his house or whatever. Couldn't ride by it. I went the whole long way to avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
But something about God's his grace is what saved me. He told me he was me the whole time. I know me and Corey used to love doves and talk about the doves. Every time we were out on the patio, the doves would come. And now, even still today, the doves still come. They come right on the table in front of me. And I know that's just because I asked God, give me a sign that he's okay. I don't understand how he was feeling because I know now about CTE and how it makes you feel. But just give me a sign that he's okay. And I get signs all the time. So I'm just thankful that God allows that because we got to have something to hold on.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, um, what I want to know is, how has things been since their death, and how are you really dealing with it? Wendy, you can start with first.
Today I'm good. And I'm dealing with it by when I'm good, I celebrate. I be so happy. I start cleaning up. I'm very organized. I can't stand a lot of stuff, right? And it makes me feel good. Today I'm doing good. And when I feel good, I just try to celebrate. My children are amazing. They are funny. My sister is hilarious. My nieces, my family, they have been so supportive. And that's my comfort zone right now. I love being around them, and sometimes I notice that I'm trying to get, and I'm not going to let it happen because God is going to get me through that as well. But social anxiety, it's like when I'm around too many people, seem like I start getting worked up. Like my anxiety, I'm like, okay, I got to go home because I feel like something is about to happen. I've never been like that. I've been outgoing. I'm loud. I'm ready to go. I want to get in the car. I want to shop. I want to do all of that. But I'm starting to come around a little bit. And it's so weird because my pastor, Reverend B.W. McClendon Sr. at the St. James Missionary Baptist Church, that is my guy. He lost his daughter, and so he can relate. And I want to tell you guys another thing. I when Jasmine first passed, I joined a group, and it was for the love of Christy. That was the name of the place, and this group has been around for many years, and it didn't do anything for me because I didn't like to be in a group setting. I needed something a little bit more private and just me and the person. So the group setting really didn't do it for me. But I reached out to my pastor, and of course, our church have grieving ministry, and my family has been my strength, and I love it. And every day that I have a good day, I celebrate. What that means, it means getting in the car and I can go in HEB. That's a good day for me because sometimes I can't do that. I'm so My anxiety is so high that I just feel like I need to come home because I'm afraid something else is going to happen. Yeah, yeah. When is the other shoe going to drop? And I truly get on my knees. I've been on my knees so much since my baby passed. Like I was always, I'm a Christian. I prayed a lot, but I have been on my knees in my closet talking to God, just like I'm talking to you guys right now. And I tell him what I want. I do. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah.
Okay, sure. How about you?
I'm good. So what? So,
We can't hear you, Sherry. You're breaking up still.
I'm sorry. How about
Uh-huh.
I have to put my face in.
Okay.
May 24th will be 3 years, and it just happened so that it's in May, and this is Mental Health Month.
Yes.
The color for mental health is lime green,
Mm,
and the color for CTE is lime green.
Green. Yes.
So I'm okay. Days, I have my days, just like anybody else. You have your days, but the good days you gotta enjoy them. You gotta enjoy it and have a good time. I get out. Y'all know I be get out there, take my pictures in the sunshine. The sun makes me feel better when I feel the sun on my body, that vitamin D. Because I was in the house and like afraid to go out for, like I said, almost 2.5 years. I didn't go to church. I didn't go to work. I wasn't going I was scared because I felt like I work with kids in church, and I'm really active with mentoring young ladies and young men, and in church, and directing the youth choir and directing. And I felt like I didn't deserve to be tough, helping nobody's child. I couldn't even save mine.
Mm.
I felt like that. I know it's not true, but you blame yourself and you find new ways to blame yourself. And that's just a part of it. And so I see a therapist once a month now. I am on medication. I do take medication to sleep, and I also take antidepressant as well, because sometimes just doing it on your own, and especially at the beginning, it's hard. It's hard.
I'm with you, Sherry. I take an antidepressant because I can't do it on my own. Not right now.
No.
And I also met with someone referred me to a doctor here that lost a son.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the best thing as well that ever happened to me.
Right.
I visit with her and she's so down to earth, and I tell her that I think I'm having a heart attack, and she's telling me it's nothing, it's anxiety, and they checked me, but I have broken heart syndrome, and
That's
it really is a such thing as that.
And people have died from that. It's actually a thing, and people have died, from that broken heart. And I found out that it's better if you get around, especially in the beginning, find those people that have lost children. Because I went to find, my cousin, and she lost her son, and it had been like 30, 40 years for her. And then I went online and I started joining some groups or whatever. And, I met another lady or whatever. Then I started my own little group. It's called Walking Together, to try to, help us to get. I want to find joy. I want to be happy. I don't want to always live sad. But
Right.
there are some people that do, and they're in that place. And I just don't want to do that. I want to be able to celebrate his life. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna go, in my little ways. I take my medicine, but I don't want to stay in that. I don't want to stay sad all day. I don't want to cry all day. Your mind takes a toll on itself because you're crying and you don't, you're not thinking, and you don't go outside, and you don't want nobody to see you. It's like you died inside.
Yeah.
Still living.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's so funny. My sister, we talk all the time, and she tells me it is okay for you to have those feelings. I just don't want you to stay there. She tells me that just don't stay there. You are perfectly fine with what you're feeling. I just don't want you to stay there, and that's it. It's all about getting out of that. I cry a minute, I close myself in, and then I say, Wendy, you can't do this. You have children, you have beautiful grandchildren that your son left here. I just can't do it. But I'm telling you guys, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. Yeah.
Lose your baby. It's like especially as an adult. My son was 28 years old. We were cool. We went shopping. We we did a lot of. So it's like, he grew up with me. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing about being a mom or whatever, but I decided that I was going to raise my baby. And we together made it. And so it's like, he was not only my son, but he was my friend. I miss him. I miss him coming up the driveway and just laughing and, coming to the door, mama, but like the pictures don't, there's a point where the pictures don't continue. Do you feel that way too? It's like the pictures don't continue, so you guys start using the same pictures over and over again because there's no continuation of the pictures.
Right. Yeah.
So, ladies, I to just piggyback off a little bit what you ladies have just relayed and expressed and shared with us, I can see how does the grief still interfere with your life, and basically, you ladies just kind of gave us a little bit of your day to day, is there anything that you ladies do for yourself to just get away and to relax and take your mind off the daily grief? I know there's such thing of cycle of grief. You're up and good one day, and then all of a sudden it hits you. So, is there anything that you ladies do um, for yourselves, to get you? I know, Wendy, you mentioned getting up and cleaning, but is there something that you do to get out the house and get away? And for you, Sherry, what would that be too? And also, Sherry, I know you said your son has CTE, and for the audience that's out here listening, can you go in a little bit more detail about CTE and bring awareness to it for some people that don't know? Because I know I've seen the movie Concussion that addressed the CTE issue. If you could, it's a two-part question. So we're going to start with you, Wendy, and then Sherry, and you'll go after her. But Wendy, what do you do for yourself to keep the grief from really interfering, and how do you maintain? I know God is a big part of it, and going to church. And yes, Pastor McClendon is a great pastor. So, um,
I have to be honest, I haven't found that yet.
Mm.
And I'm not ready to find that. I know what makes me happy is when I see my children and my sister and her girls and my husband, but I haven't. I'm trying to get to know me all over again because I'm not the same person that I was. So I'm just taking my time. I'm not in any rush, and I'm not kidding. I just want to take my time, and that's it. I just love my home. I thank God for everything, but I'm not concerned about myself right now. I'm just trying to figure out, how do I survive every day? How do I wake up and just survive? Yeah.
Sometimes 5 minutes, do what it, I,
Come up a little bit closer
we
to
can't hear you, Sherry.
oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying sometimes it's 5 minutes. You have to way. It you never know. I mean, it's like in the morning, good, and by noon you about to fall apart. You got to log off, go home, and go lay in the bed.
Yeah.
So it comes in the triggers. You got to learn your triggers. What things that are really going to trigger, a big one or a small one, or learn how to figure it. It's all in your. But I like to go for a ride through the countryside when I'm feeling some kind of way. I do that for myself. I love to go just ride, just get in my car and just ride through the country, all the plant hills and all the land, and it, and I'm always see something. A dove is going to be falling my car or something. There's always going to be a, assurance, and so it helps me.
Okay, can you also, since you have the floor, if you could, I don't know, we're not having kind of a sound issues right now,
Mm-hmm,
but can you bring a little awareness to the CTE,
mm-hmm.
so we could, bring a little education to our audience.
Right. That's what I do. My job. I have a little nonprofit that I'm working on. It's called the No Alliance, and it's knowing now to win, because I want to educate parents, uh, coaches, football, NFL. They all know about CTE, and CTE stands for chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Don't try to get that,
yeah.
but and what it is a neurological degenerative disease that's linked to repeated hits to the head or concussions. They don't even have to be concussions. Just hits to the head, multiple hits to the head, and it takes a while for it to show up. It's like Alzheimer's and dementia. You don't see it right away. So my son came home from college in 2013. He, I didn't really see any signs or anything or his changed behavior until like 2019, 2018. And I saw there are obvious changes. Mood swings, and they isolate themselves, and they get all, agitated, and they have uh, outbursts of anger. They'll be mad at you, and all of us for no reason. But my son would always, whenever he would go off, I didn't know what it put off of. I figured he just growing pains, and he's a man, learning how to be a man. He didn't have no kids. He had a good job, had his own place. He was very mannerable, but maybe he was just having some problems. And he would go off on me, and then a couple minutes later, 30 minutes, 40 minutes later, he would call back and say, "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it." Sometimes, for some reason, in my head, I just get this mad feeling. I'm just so angry. So he was going to a therapist. Of course, when someone has CTE, it cannot be diagnosed until after death. To me, that's unacceptable. Our young boys and our young men and our husbands, they play this game. Always. I am not trying to discourage any parent from putting their child in football, because I know how Terrell felt about football. And if I would have told him, little league, high school, whenever, that I didn't want him to play, he would have lost it, because that was his thing. That was what he was good at. He wanted to do that. He got a full scholarship, and that's what he wanted to do. But I just want to let the parents know, because nobody tells the parents what to look for. Nobody tells the parents, look for these signs, because they are not going to tell you how they really feel, especially if they're still football age, because they don't want you to take them out.
Yeah.
The coach ain't going to tell you nothing about it, because the coach don't want you to take them out. So we got to be responsible, and we got to educate ourselves. And I tell everybody, look up CTE. You don't have to believe me. Look it up. There's studies out there. There are things that are show you that even these NFL players, they're dealing with it. Some of them have taken their lives, killed their family, and all that. But those are NFL players. Our children right now that are not professionals are suffering in silence because we don't see the signs. So, I don't know any other way, but, just to tell parents, look it up. You can reach out to me. I don't have a problem with, going and talking to a group or whatever. I don't have a problem, because my message is simple. It's in love, and it's not to, distract, make anybody pull their child back. But if you know now, then you won't have to be in the place I'm in later.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when your son was playing football and he was in school, did he ever call you and complain about the concussions? Did he say anything about the pressure he was feeling from the coaching staff to continue to play? He was just...
They are not tell us the truth, y'all, because it's football. If y'all watch that movie All American, that is a perfect example of how the children feel about football. They will risk themselves to play, to get that, that college scout to see them, or that NFL scout, whoever it is, or to get, there's a lot of children who we know who are living in our lives who are trying to get to college. So football is imperative in them trying to get to college, because everybody cannot afford it. So those are their ways, and I understand that. But I just want the parents to know, and even girlfriends, because Carell was dating. He was dating, and women that he was dating, they were seeing things, and they didn't know what it was either. And even husbands, there's men I talk to men all the time who are probable CTE right now. They played football, they had a history of football, and they're dealing with it. They're not going to tell their wives, though. They're not going to tell their family.
Right.
So you got to pay attention, and it's an obvious notice. It's an obvious change whenever you see it, and it just gets worse and worse and worse from then on. Herb will forget. We would go to the bank and get his bank card. We would get 2 minutes down the road, and he lost the bank card in the car. He has a fit in 2 seconds because he can't find it. He's mad beyond anything that I have ever seen. It's like, baby, it's just a card. Hold on, I'm pulling over trying to help him find it because he's going off. So, and I thought, okay, well, maybe he's just going through, and he was seeing a therapist. He was taking medication. Of course, he was taking it when he wanted to, but it wouldn't have helped him anyway, because it's the same medicine that I take. and it doesn't help with headaches. It doesn't help with memory loss.
Mm,
It doesn't help with the pain he's feeling or the anger that he's having, aggression build up, and he doesn't know why.
Right.
It didn't help with none of that. And it's they're gonna have those suicidal thoughts. I'm in a group that for CTE probable people, and it's called the uh the concussion legacy. And the people in there, they've been tested and they are CTE probable. When you're living, it's called CTE probable, and they can't diagnose it until you're dead. But they're suffering the same thing, and all of them say the same thing. I think about suicide every day. I'm in pain, I'm hurting constantly, but I got to keep going. And I talk to
mm,
parents. There's several podcasts about concussion and things like that. The parents that I've talked to and the parents that are going through what I'm going through because of CTE, we all say the same things. When we learned about it and we go back and research it, all the symptoms we saw them, but just didn't know
mm.
what.
Right. Yeah.
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 Well,
Yeah. So Wendy, so can you tell us about the symptoms of Jasmine and what it, what should parents look for? I know earlier you was telling us about him losing a little weight, the back pain. Um, Tell us a little more about what testicular cancer is and what advice you would give parents.
So the first thing, testicular cancer is curable. That's number one. And it is the survival rate is extremely high if it is caught in time. I don't want to alarm anyone, but I really know that we need to do a better job of getting checked. We need to go
Mm,
to the doctor and not be afraid when we are in a type of pain that is totally unbearable with aspirin or with the Tylenol or with the ibuprofen. Everybody is afraid. Listen, when I was first diagnosed with cancer, it blew me away. I couldn't even think about anything other than I'm going to die. It's curable. Testicular cancer, it starts in your testicles for men, and it's like they're swollen, they are painful, your back may be hurting, your side may be hurting. And when you get in that type of pain where no medicine is helping, go get checked out because it can save your life. I'm not, Jasmine was an adult. He was a man. He said to me, Mom, I got it. I'm going to take care of it. I can take care of myself. But if we are in pain, and I want to say African Americans do not go to the doctor.
mm,
We will sit there
Right.
in pain and pray that it pass. I'm not kidding. We have got to be more healthier. And Jasmine was extremely healthy. When Jasmine started painting, I can't go back. I'm not going to go back. But I want people moving forward. Don't ignore your signs. Don't ignore those signs. You know
Right.
when something is not right, and just go and let them tell you you're fine.
right.
Don't sit at home. You have everybody
Yeah.
worried. Everybody is about to lose their mind because you're in pain. That it plays a part in your entire family. Jasmine's sickness had my husband sick. I was sick. His siblings were sick. His children were feeling some type of way. People feel this. My sister and my nieces, your family feel the pain. Don't put people in pain. Don't put people out there. Go to the doctor, get checked, and then do what you need to do to survive for yourself. That's number one. Just do it. And testicular cancer is curable. I had ovarian cancer. I am 3 years cancer free from ovarian cancer. Yes, it,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Yes, yes.
Life is full of twists and turns. It really is. And we don't know what's going to happen, guys. We are afraid.
Yeah.
We can't even walk outside or go to the grocery store anymore. That and people are doing all sorts of crazy things. But for our health, I don't care if it's just walking. We've got to do better. We've got to do better, and that's it. We really
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, one
I
thing about
agree.
like Miss
I think early detection, I think early detection is the best. So
Yes.
definitely going to those yearly checkups. I mean,
Yes.
we all have insurance. Even I think your health is very important and just early detection. I can't say enough is the best protection. So just going to those yearly visits to be checked, whether you think you have something or not. But just going, like you said, to know that everything is okay is very important for us these days.
Yeah.
So
And you've got to depend on somebody. And I want to be clear.
yeah,
God sends angels as well because we know that God is a spirit, but He sends angels. Get somebody that you can kind of talk to and say, "Listen, I'm really afraid. This started happening to me." Like, and allow someone to come in and help you and guide you because you're gonna need someone. You are. You can't do it on your own.
And
And
I
just
just want
kind of,
to say, make sure
yeah,
you are, you know, repetitive about it. If you go in and they tell you nothing's wrong and you
yeah,
still hurting, go back, go get another doctor because with
Yes.
CTE,
Second opinion.
just like Miss
second
Wendy's
opinion.
son, they may tell you the wrong diagnosis at
yeah,
first. They may not get it. And CTE, they're definitely not going to get it. They're going to tell you all kind of depression and outbursts and disorders and all this here, and they're still not going to get it. So you got to be vigilant and going and checking on yourself
Yes.
and making sure if that doctor didn't tell you what you need to hear and I'm still hurting, I'm going to another.
Yeah. Yeah. I truly agree with that. I think
Just get
that
a second opinion for sure.
yeah, I think
They
that so
can't
many times we are so uh we just don't go. And men especially, they have to be pushed
Mm,
to go. It's like almost you have to like get on them to go. So I do agree, you should get those yearly checkups. Um, if you are feeling some type of way, you should definitely get checked. I don't care what it is. I know people be like, "Oh, you go to the doctor all the time." Yeah, I don't care if I cough
yep.
the wrong way. I'm like, I'm going. I need to know what the cough is about. And so I
Yeah.
totally agree with you guys. I will Wendy. Jasmine was a great friend of mine.
I know,
Hmm,
And
for sure.
I
I
know.
still haven't grieved Jasmine's death.
Hmm.
Um, I I was very sad when I heard about it, and I contacted him because I hadn't heard from him. I hadn't seen him, and I wanted to know what was going on with him. And he told me, and he said, "I'm gonna beat this. I'm good." And I was like, "Are you sure?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna beat this. I'm fine." And he was telling me about his therapy. And so, Wendy, my heart goes out to you. We met after me and Jasmine's friendship, and and I couldn't believe that we were so much alike, which was super crazy. That we were had so many things that we were alike in,
Mhm.
and we laugh about it, and we, had a good time when we did meet up, and my heart went out to you when I heard about Jasmine, and even with Corel. I went up to Sherry's when Corel passed away. I went up to Sherry's and we sat in Sherry's garage. And we sat in that garage and we talked. And I had known Sherry for a while. She was a supervisor at one of my jobs that I worked at. And so I knew Sherry. And, I have sons. I have two sons. And, it was just something that I couldn't even imagine. And sometimes you don't have words to say because you don't know. But just being there, even if it's just in silence, which I did with both of you guys. Wendy, I sent you flowers, and
I have to
we met
tell
up.
you, I have to
Mhm.
share, Michelle, and I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Michelle, your flowers were the first flowers that came to my home. Your flowers were the first flowers that were delivered to my house. And I thought, Michelle, and it just touched me so. I said, oh my gosh, like they were the first ones delivered. Yeah, yes, they
That's
were.
so sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure that you knew that, you know, um, that I was there for you. Me and Jasmine were great friends, and that I supported you, and I wanted to be there for you. So I appreciate you, opening that up to me to do that, because we didn't know each other before then. I remember at the gravesite as I stood there, and I never said one word to anybody. And you looked right at me,
I did.
and you got up, and you came and gave me a hug. And we've been friends since that day. Since that day, and I was very appreciative of that, because we had not met before then, but I had been friends with Jasmine for quite some time um, before we met. And Sherry, you know, I was very devastated to hear about Corel. I knew how much you loved him. All y'all little videos singing, and y'all, Corel was, he'll put on his outfits, and he would, crack jokes and play around. And I knew how much you loved that. And so, me just coming and sitting in your garage with you um, meant a lot to me to do that for you, because I do have sons. And every day I'm scared anything could happen to them. You know, I have a son that's in prison, and I have a son that's out. And anything could happen to my son in that prison. And I pray every day that nothing does. You know, um, and then I have a son that's out here, living in the world. And anything could happen to him too. I have a daughter. Things are so crazy out here today that you know, we do have to stay prayed up. And I know that the only way we have all made it is with God. It's nothing else that pushes us through this life but Him. Because every day is a scary day. You get a phone call in the middle of the night, you're scared. You wake up, you have a text, you don't know. And so I appreciate you guys coming on here and sharing your stories with us tonight.
Can I just say something?
Uh huh.
I wanted to, tell you thank you for coming that day, because I wasn't expecting anybody, as you seen.
Hmm.
I just sitting there, sitting there,
Hmm.
and you showed up and gave me somebody to talk to. And I just wanted to let everybody else know that a lot of people, they may not talk to us because they'll say, I didn't know what to say, so I kind of backed away from you. But that makes it worse, because we feel like you forgot, and we actually like to
Right.
talk about it. We actually like to hear their name. So if you are someone who, you know someone or has lost a child, it's okay to be yourself. And if you don't know what to say, just say that. I don't know what to say to you, but I'm right here.
Yeah.
Because after all is done, the telephone stopped ringing, the visits stopped coming. You gotta be there in yourself.
Yeah.
And we have so much of that time. So if you know someone, get around them sometimes, call them up, say hi, even if you don't know, or they came across your mind, because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very.
So I have to say I did the total opposite. They didn't stop calling me. I stopped accepting their calls.
And
I
you have to
did.
do.
I just couldn't handle it.
Mhm.
I could not think. I couldn't think. I couldn't talk. I couldn't express myself. So I did the total opposite. I'm sure I probably may have hurt some people's feelings, and by all means,
Oh wow.
charge it to my head and not my heart.
Mhm.
But it's still not the time. I want to be around my family right now. That's how I'm feeling. and it's just a very few people that, you know, that I just feel comfortable talking to, but I'm just still not there. I'm
How
not
long?
there. Yeah.
How long has it been since he passed?
It was a year January.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
see, I'm 3 years
Yeah.
in, and that's why I say that. But
Yeah.
me and my daughter, we're alone. We don't have anybody. So I didn't talk to nobody, didn't log on Facebook, didn't get on Facebook and say nothing for almost 6, 7 months. And I understand what you're going through. But when it comes, people will tell you, I didn't speak to you because I don't know what to say. Then you'll be more open to it later on, because it took me a long time too.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say this, ladies. I don't know what to say to y'all, but I will say thank you. Thank you for coming on here and sharing your story. It takes so much courage and strength and emotions that's there. And Sherry and Wendy, you're not alone. You just met three more friends up here. Well, you already knew Michelle.
Thank you.
And Erica, and we're available. Um, and I know there is other people that will be able to reach out to you. And now that you put that out there, just the people in the audience, don't be afraid to reach out to these women and just to show your support. And we really appreciate y'all coming in here and doing that for us and letting us know what the signs are. And, because there's people out there that don't know.
Yeah.
We will continue to pray for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's why Michelle created this platform so that
Thank you,
you
Michelle.
ladies and others could come out here and get the word out.
So I just had a message. A lady named Ann, I met her. She's in this group I'm in called Sisterly Love. And she said, Michelle, this is Ann. I am on listening to your podcast. Nina had told me about it and I wanted to reach out to you earlier. I'm feeling all these women's pain. We moved here from New York after my son Tyrone, my firstborn, was murdered 15 years ago at the age 22. And it's still like it was yesterday. And I've only spoken about it publicly once. And my heart goes out to you. Um, I I don't know what to say. I've never lost a child, but as a mother, I know what pain feels like. Um, I will get with you soon, and we can talk. This will not be the last podcast we will have. We have so many grieving mothers out here in this world. I have so many friends that I know who have lost children. Um, and it breaks my heart because it's so many. Never in my 46 years of living would I have thought that I have seen so many parents bury their children. Never, never. I have a cousin, she lost her son. I have a friend, Shelly Carr, I went to high school with, she lost her son. Um, and you don't know what to say. So you give, and I'm a giver, so I just give from my heart. But I don't have the words to say. And that's why I created this platform, was to give you guys a voice to the world, to everybody on Facebook, to everybody who's on YouTube, Spotify, so you guys can share your story, because it may be someone who don't have nobody to talk to. It may be a mother out here who cannot get through the grief. I don't even know how I would feel. I can't even say. Um, when my son went to prison, I almost lost my mind. And I can go see him. I can go see him. I can hug him. I can kiss him. I takes his children to see him. I can still physically touch him,
But
but
Michelle,
I lost it.
that's a part of grief, Michelle. That's a
Yes,
part of grief. You're not going to be see your son unless it's behind bars for a
bars.
little bit. That's
Yes,
a form of grief.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yes,
It
it is.
is,
Mhm.
and it just I almost felt selfish because I could touch him and other people couldn't touch their son. So, and I was grieving about it because I, you know, I don't get to see him. He can't just come over here. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it is, it's very heartbreaking, but it's also, um, you know, I guess a little relief that you guys can come on and talk about it. Um, and
Mhm.
be able to move through and help other women, even fathers,
Yeah.
push through it
Yeah.
because these are their children too. We have fathers who have lost their kids, um, and we have a friend that has lost his son. Um, you know, so it's I I I think it was a great thing for you guys to come on here and to share your stories and to get it out there to
Yeah.
let people know that it is help, that you don't have to be alone. This is something that you don't have to suffer in silence. There's support groups, as we heard. You guys have groups. Um, Wendy has the jaywalking for Jasmine that she started. It's the Saturday before the 25th of February that she goes out to Pflugerville Lake. They do the 3 mile walk. And I will pull up a slide. I did a little slideshow. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to bring it up um, so I can show everyone. And I did like a little, some little notes on it at the same time.
And we got our little
So
bracelets from
we
our
have,
mom.
they can't see them, Erica, because I got the slide on, I believe. So can you guys see the slide?
Uh,
No.
You can't see it?
Mm,
Mm-mm.
no.
Okay, hold on.
Mm-mm.
Hold on. Let me go back. Can you guys see the slide?
Mm-mm.
You can't see it?
No.
no.
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay,
I
hold
see,
on.
but I don't see it.
Okay. Let me see. Share my screen. Share it. Can you guys see it?
No.
Wait,
Oh,
wait.
It's coming.
I see your computer screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see it?
Uh, it's coming now.
You guys see it?
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
blow it up, make it bigger.
Make it
Okay.
bigger.
Mm.
It's so small.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Ah, okay, y'all. Okay, I can't.
I can see.
You can see it.
I don't know why I can't see it. But
It's okay.
I will
But
talk it. So we
I
have the
can
Jaywalk
but
for
it
Jasmine is an annual event every year Saturday prior to February 25th, which is Jasmine's birthday, to raise money and donate to the American Cancer Society for testicular cancer in his honor. Since Jasmine loved Jordan tennis shoes, he was always into being healthy by doing this walk. Last year they raised $2,080, and the motto is no amount is too small to donate. Each year they want to grow it larger
that's
and larger.
awesome.
So check this cause out. This was founded by his mother, Wendy Gonzalez. We have the No Alliance was created to bring awareness, educate, and inform parents of risk associated with multiple hits to the head. Um, the CTE, chronic traumatic. I can't really pronounce that word. It's how do you pronounce it, Sherry?
What's that? Oh, the
And
CTE is
yeah,
chronic encephalopathy.
Or something like that. Yeah, is a progressive and fatal brain disease associated with repeated traumatic brain injuries, concussions, and repeat blows to the head. Please share this and donate to this cause. It's the No Alliance, knowing now to win. Together we fight by Sherry Johns.
Mm-hmm.
We also want to talk about Jordan's Safe Place with the founder Anissa Stovall on May 13, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. at Pflugerville Lake. They will have the Angel Mom Memory Walk and Picnic. So you guys, if you can go out and donate to each one of those causes, they're all for a good cause. And the audience, if you guys have any questions for Miss Wendy or Sherry, we are opening the floor for you guys to ask questions.
I have a question
You have a question? Go ahead, Aaron.
for Wendy and Sherry. I meant to ask this earlier, but can you share the range of emotions that you go through when you're thinking about um, your loved ones?
For me, sometimes I think I'm having a heart attack. So I have to tell you guys, it's not funny, but I have asked my family so many times to take me to the emergency room
Mhm.
that if I go back to the emergency room, they really are going to admit me because there is nothing wrong with my heart. It's anxiety, it's broken heart syndrome. But at the time, I think I'm having a true heart attack. And that's just, listen, I can't explain. It's just an out of body experience. It really is. I don't know what else to tell you. And it's, I hear people will say to me, I understand. I lost my mom. I know exactly how you feel. Or I've lost a sibling. Oh, I know how you feel. Guys, it's nothing compared to that. It is 10,000 times over losing a child.
It changes. It changes you.
Yeah,
I refer to
yeah,
myself now as
yeah,
the Sherry now, and when before
yeah.
the Sherry before, because it
Mhm.
totally changes you. You think differently. I started being more quiet, and I'm usually loud and brave and bold, and I sing loud. I was not saying nothing, like a little ant, and I had this dragged down to, like, I just started getting back into church and getting comfortable and getting able to sing and talk in front of people, because I'm not that person anymore.
Yeah.
It's totally different, and you can go
Mhm.
from 0 to 100. You can have every emotion, and I even made up some, because those emotions that they listed, that ain't just it. It's deeper.
Yeah.
I would shut down. I didn't want anybody to talk to me because I wanted to use all of that energy just thinking about Jasmine. I know that wasn't healthy, and my family would keep talking to me, asking questions, and I'm like, leave me alone so I can just be quiet. And I just want to be quiet. And they're like, you need to focus on something else because I think about Jasmine from the time I wake up until the time it's to go to sleep and in my sleep and all of that I do. It's I think about him all the time. Sometimes I'll laugh and sometimes I'll cry. Sometimes I feel pretty good and sometimes I'm like, I don't know why God used me. I just don't know why. I guess he thinks I'm strong and I can handle it. I'm going to assume that. But it's an out of body experience to lose a child. Oh, yeah.
Exactly what I say, Wendy. I say, Lord, they say you're not supposed to question God, but
Yeah.
many, many days I was like, why?
Yeah.
Was it something I did? Maybe but it's not. It's just God's way. And God said that he gave them to us for a time, and that's it. So I thank God for 28
Yeah.
years, because some people didn't get
Yeah.
7, 8, 9, or any.
That's
So I
right.
thank God for
Yeah.
28 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Wendy, how are the kids coming along? Are they, you know, coping with it? How are you guys kind of, you know,
So I,
explaining that
mhm.
about Jasmine to them?
We have Christian, who is 12. He'll be 13 in December. Christian is extremely quiet. He's a professor. He is a president of his class. He does not talk unless you ask him a question. I think Christian, me personally, I question him so he can open up because he's extremely quiet and he doesn't talk about it. The only thing he'll say something like, you know, Mima, when I grow up, I'm going to get tattoos and I'm going to get my dad on my arm. And it shocked me because he's talking, but he's very quiet. And I hope that he would open up a little bit more
Mhm.
about his dad because Christian grew up with his dad. From the time he came out, he was with his dad truly 24/7. And then Houston and Carter, they are amazing. They're extremely smart.
Mhm.
They know that their daddy is in heaven. And they said, Meemaw, so,
Mhm.
we blow kisses up to dad and we pray for him every night. They are so smart, but I also want to give a shout out to their mom, Erica and Jade. They did not think they would be single parents at this stage in their life. And I just hope, my
Yeah.
prayer is they meet a man that is going to allow their children to speak about their dad. He's going to understand. Heck, he's going to take them to the graveyard and put flowers on the grave. I just want them, because eventually they're going to meet someone. I just hope that they meet a great, outstanding man that's going to understand about their children and how they lost their dad at a young age and how much love they are going to need, just that support. And that's my prayer as well. Yep. But they're doing good. They really are.
So, Sherry, how's your daughter
That's great.
kind
Well,
of
Nasia
coping with
is
her
20,
brother?
so and she'll be graduating in December with her master's in victim studies management.
That's
Uh,
good.
she
Congratulations.
thank you. She goes through went through a whole bunch of psychology and all that. So she kind of keeps us where we need to be, right? She, texts me where you at today, and I'm an 8 or 7 or whatever. Sometimes I call her spinning around in circles. I don't even have to say nothing else. She at the door.
Take it on her mama.
Yeah, she's like, what's wrong? What's going on? Let's go. Get out the house. Come on, let's go. So that's why I say she is my reason. And she, decided whenever, she graduated from high school, she was gonna do it for her brother because, he always said, you so smart. My sister's smart or whatever. She's smart, but he would give her a hard time at everything. But, he loved her and she was smart. And she said, I'm gonna get this one for my brother. I'm gonna get it for my dad. I'm gonna get it for my brother, and keep going. And so she's 22, and she'll be graduating in December. And she doesn't see a therapist or anything. I wish she would, but she doesn't. She, like I said, she goes through psychology classes, and so she manages hers, by herself on her own. She has her own job. She works in space, and she's doing a great job. I'm so proud of her because she keeps me grounded. We have to text each other every night, good night, and we're real, like anxiety just comes and it's like if I don't talk to you before I go to bed or whatever, and she's like, Mom, text me or something because if you're not answering the phone, I get nervous. And so we still are like, nervous wrecks when it comes to, each other, but it's just part of it because when you have, she's all I have and I'm all she has, and you lost your a child or a sibling, it changes you,
Yeah.
changes everything around you. I've been paying the storage with his stuff in there for 3 years, and people say, oh, you need to get rid of. No, I don't. I'm gonna do it when I want to do it. I don't care if I pay 10 years. I'm not going and do nothing until I'm ready. So that's why I say, Wendy, take your time. I still got a car out my driveway, been in my driveway for 3 years. I got a motorcycle on my patio, been out there for 3 years. It's about me
Wow. Yeah.
dealing with it. And when I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
That's awesome.
We're going to come to a close tonight. I want to thank both of you. Wendy, you know I love you.
Yeah.
Sherry, you know I love you. I admire both of you guys. Um, I think you both are so brave and courageous to get on here and to tell your story, even in the midst of pain. You guys are still in pain
Mhm.
and probably will always be. So I appreciate you guys coming on here. I appreciate my audience for watching. I see so many comments over here. People are praying for you guys.
Mhm.
They're sending hearts out to you guys. Um, and they
Mhm.
have tuned in. I think a lot of people could relate to this today. Um, just knowing you guys, because we all know you. Um, I thank Erica and Aaron for being on here with me, sharing this platform with me, um, to be able to have you guys come on here and talk today. You guys in the audience, I want you guys to go to my YouTube page and subscribe to Relock Podcast on YouTube. I want you guys to share, share, share. Uh, we stream every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Um, and we're on Facebook Live um, at the same time. So you can either watch it on Facebook or you can watch it on YouTube. Um, if you guys want to sponsor, we're doing sponsorship as well on here. We had a sponsor for tonight's show, um, Clearing Place, Alexis Thompson, where she does home help. She goes out, she contracts herself, she goes and help the elderly grocery shop, cleans their homes, um, and just making sure they have some good TLC. We have to make sure we take care of our elderly people. So, Alexis Thompson, thank you so much for sponsoring tonight's show. And her business is the Caring Place. Um, Also, you guys don't forget about the No Alliance. Um, Sherry Johns, you guys go check that out on her Facebook page. Also, Jaywalking for Jasmine. Pflugerville Lake, y'all, we went. We had a good time. We walked. Uh, it was great. Um, Jordan Safe Place. Anyone is struggling with mental health issues, you can contact Anissa Stovall. She was on our show last week talking about mental illness. That is the way she lost her son. Um, he was killed by APD and he was having a mental crisis. And so she helps other parents with that. So you guys can get in touch with each one of these organizations. I thank each and every one of you for tuning in. We love you guys. Check us out every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Relock Podcast. You guys have a great night. We love you all. Thank you so much. And we will see you next week.
Thank you